Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's Wild Rift video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Wild Pass skin. We're taking a look at Superhero Jayce. I think one of the coolest Wild Pass skins that Wild Rift have released recently. Very cool looking skin. You have some really cool effects as well, which you're able to use when you land your abilities. You get like a cool power effect, has all comet effects and everything. Really cool looking skin. But before we get into the gameplay, let's take a look at the build with Jayce. Jayce is definitely a very strong champion in the current meta, both in the Baron lane and in the mid lane. We go for Hull Breaker as a first item. Now, even though this did get changed ever so slightly, so you don't get as much armor and magic resist in range form, you still get a lot of armor and magic resist in the melee form with Jayce. And you know, this does change every single time as well. So when you swap between range and melee form, you get the extra resistances when you're in melee form, which means your minions as well also gain the extra armor resist. But not only that, I think the base stats are also great. Gives you a lot of attack damage and maximum health. Both these stats work great with Jayce during laning phase, and helps you split push and take down towers very quickly, especially with Demolish. But yeah, you just have to make sure that no nearby allies are behind. But even if you join team fights and you don't get the extra buff from Hull Breaker, the base stats are still enough to be such a strong item for Jayce. Then actually, as the second item, we go for Manamune. Now, most of the time I normally say, oh, you need to go for Manamune as a first item. But in this instance, Hull Breaker is just such a huge one item power spike for Jayce that you want to go for this before you go for Manamune. And then you just want to complete Manamune, finish Manamune, and get that Mirror Mana as quick as possible. This helps a lot with Jayce's damage, and also helps you a lot with your mana, which means you can poke in your range form a lot more often and use all your abilities. Jayce has 6 abilities in total, which makes not only his laning phase very strong, but as you scale into the mid and late game, also makes that even stronger at the same time. So really great item there. For the boots, most of the time we can go for defensive boots like plated steel caps or mercury treads, depending on the situation of the game. You can also go for ion elusive boots of lucidity if you want the reduction on your abilities, you know, your ability haste, and also reduction on some of the spells. But to be honest, I don't think it is that important. I think mercury treads and plated steel caps are the best. And actually, for boots enchant, we want to go for gargle stone plate. Gargle stone plate is really good for Jayce because he likes to go into melee form, he likes to jump in, and when he has 3 enemy champions around him, he gains a huge massive shield that allows him to tank for a long time. You're not going to deal that much damage, but that tankiness that you need, especially when going into melee form with Jayce, is really nice and very important. Then for the next item, we kind of have a, you know, two scenarios. We can either go for Black Cleaver, or we can go for Serpent's Fang as a third item. Black Cleaver is really good if you're against a lot of tanks on the enemy team, because dealing physical damage to a champion reduces their armor by 4% for a few seconds, stacking up to 6 times. So you can get a 24% reduction on their armor. So for example, you're against tanks like maybe Malphite, maybe you're against an Olaf that went for an early death stance or something like that. Black Cleaver's great. Also gives you a lot of good stats. Maximum health, attack damage, and ability haste are all great stats. You also get the Rage passive, which gives you a little bit of extra movement speed when dealing physical damage. So overall, great item for Jayce. But Serpent's Fang is really good if you're against a lot of shielding. Serpent's Fang is a new item in Wild Rift. I haven't done a video on it yet, but hopefully I'll do a video on it soon. But a lot of attack damage, ability haste, you get the armor penetration. But a big thing is the Shield Reaver passive. Dealing damage to an enemy champion reduces any shields they gain by 50% for melee champions or 35% for ranged champions for a few seconds. And when you damage an enemy who is unaffected by shields, it reduces all shields on them by 50%, 35%. Shield reduction does not apply to shields that only block magic damage, so it won't apply to like Kassadin passive or Morgana's third ability. But this is really good, you know, if you're against I can think of loads of champions: Lulu, Janna, Karma. It even works with Barrier, the summoner spell, and it works with Gargle Stone Plate. Malphite passive as well with the shield. There's so many shields in Wild Rift that if you feel like you need the anti-shield, then definitely go for Serpent's Fang as a third item. Even though it doesn't make you as tanky, it will still do a lot of damage and will still give you a lot of stats that will help you out a lot. But like I say, it's kind of a situation whether you want to go for Black Cleaver's third item or Serpent's Fang. And then in between the two, we have Mortar Reminder, which is your big armor penetration penetration item. But not only that, you get a lot of attack damage, and also you get grievous wounds, which also reduces the effectiveness of healing. So this is basically like you're reducing the healing, you're reducing the shielding, you're just reducing everything on the enemy team. So they can't heal, they can't shield. Well, they can, but it'll be reduced, which means that Jayce can do a lot more damage. And there's a few other situational items as well that I like to mention. If you feel like you don't need anti-heal, then Serrader's Grudge is a great item because of the icy passive. It also gives you a little bit of extra ability haste, which works really well for Jayce. So it just depends if you want to go for Mortal Reminder or Serrader's Grudge. These two can definitely be swapped out whenever you want them. Death Stance is really good if you need that extra bit of tankiness. This is also really good against full AD comp. So if you have a lot of attack damage on the enemy team, then you can go for Death Stance as an item, probably instead of the last item, instead of Serpent's Fang. You can go for Death Stance instead, or you can go for Guardian Angel if you feel like you need to resurrect. Maybe you feel like you're the main carry for the team, so you need that little bit of extra life when you die, and obviously you come back to life and resurrect again. You can swap that out for Serpent's Fang if you want to. But yeah, it just depends. I think this is the best standard build overall, but again, it's situational depending on the in the situation of the game. Conqueror as a rune is very, very strong. As I mentioned, Jayce has 6 separate abilities, which you gain a stack of adaptive force when hitting a champion with separate attacks or abilities. So you can stack Conqueror very, very easily. Poke with your first ability and third ability in range form. Use your second ability, go into melee form. Use that as well to auto attack. Use all your abilities. You can stack Conqueror very, very quickly, which gives you bonus AD and also gives you extra Omnivamp when you reach full stacked Conqueror. So it's really good. Triumph, not only does it let you heal for 10% of your missing health when you get a takedown, but also allows you to do 5% more damage to enemies below 35% health. Bone plating, this is kind of dependent on who you're against during the laning phase. Bone plating is really good if you're against champions like Jax that might try and jump on top of you, Fiora, Camille, any sort of combo champions like that look to jump on top of you and deal a lot of auto attacks in a short amount of time. You can swap this out if you're against a lot of crowd control. You can go for Hunter Titan. If you want more early game pressure, and if you feel like you can win the early game, Adaptive Carapace is very good. Or you can go for something like Nullifying Orb. It works really well. Ultimate Shield is not that great because Ultimate Shield has a big cooldown, and sometimes it's not really worth getting an Ultimate Shield because sometimes you'll switch from melee to range form and gain the shield, and you kind of waste the cooldown. So it's a little bit difficult. Unless you can time it correctly, then Ultimate Shield can also be very good. And then as your last rune, you want Demolish. Because you go for Hullbreaker as the first item, it means you'll be super strong in the early game, and you can get them early tower platings before they drop at level 7 at 7 minutes, sorry. Or even try and take the first tower of the game with Hullbreaker and Demolish. I've done this many, many times. You're seeing the gameplay today. This is not the crazy highlight game of so many kills. This is more of a well thought out high elo game that you can see that I play the map very, very well, and you can see that I take towers and I rotate around the map very, very clever. So it's not a crazy high kill game, just to warn you. It's not like 30+ kills or anything like that. I don't think I get any kills in this game, but I do go flawless. I do get a few assists, but again, it's more about rotating around the map and knowing where you need to be at the right time. And for summoner spells, we of course have Flash, and then you can go for either Ignite or Barrier. Ignite is if you want to play more aggressive, if you feel like you can win the 1 versus 1 in the early game, or you can go for Barrier if you want to be a little bit more defensive and maybe scale up, get your Hullbreaker, get your Manamune, and scale up into the late game and just survive during the early game in the laning phase. But that's pretty much everything for Jayce. Like I said, it's one of the coolest wild pass skins I think they've released so far. My favorite for sure. I will definitely be working towards getting the ascended version in the wild pass. So if you haven't unlocked the wild pass, make sure you do. And as always, take care, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you in the next Wilder video. Peace. Let's go. So I'll probably go Hullbreaker first still, into Manamune, and then Serpent's Fang, because I got shielding with Lulu, Lee Sin shielding, Vayne as well. Actually, no, Vayne not too much. Maybe ultimate shields here and there, Gargle, Stone Plate. That's quite a lot, actually. That's quite a lot, so I'm probably going to go Serpent's Fang.
Feel free to give up now. Powering up. Bring down the hammer.
Thing is, I'm never going to be able to kill Garen at all.
ready. Cannon engaged. Without fear. Face the future. Eyes on the horizon. Fully charged. Our future will be bright. Cannon engaged. For tilt over. Eyes on the horizon.
My lane's in a pretty bad spot.
Our future will be bright.
It should slow push towards me though, because he doesn't have any extra minions on his side, so it's gonna slow push. I'm gonna miss a few minions, but it'll slow push towards me.
I'm always ready.
He's level 5 though, so I do need to be careful, because he can definitely look to all in me.
Hammer time. Powering up.
Yeah, when this cannon dies, then it's going to be pretty much pushing towards me. So we're all good. We can just chill here. Also, my top side is the prio for my team, so I'm basically weak side at the moment.
Strength through progress.
Enemy slain. Ally
Face the
slain.
future.
Ally slain. Enemy slain. Double kill.
Nice.
Slain.
Crash this in.
Fully charged.
Or not. Okay, he completely missed his Q there. I got really, really lucky. I got really lucky that he missed his Q. Holy moly, that would have probably been death.
Back. Cannon engaged. Strength through progress. Without fear.
Nice. Well played, team. This might even be top tower. Okay. That was really, really close. Hey, first tower of the game, not bad.
Powering up.
First tower of the game in top lane.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
I think I'll just go armor boots this game.
Eyes on the horizon.
I'm not too sure where to go here, though. I probably should go towards Drake, but Garen might get bot tower. Oh, no, it's too low.
Slain the dragon.
Never look back. Cannon engaged.
Nice. We should probably go for Rift Herald here.
Without fear. Cannon engaged. Hammer time.
I think whilst I get Rift Herald, I'm just going to push bot lane. They should be able to get it without me.
Rift Herald.
Bring down the hammer.
So many tower planes for us. It's so good.
Top turret is under attack.
Powering up. Hammer time.
Kind of messed up a little bit, but hey, it's a pretty good start for us. Pretty good start. I think after Manamune, I definitely need Serpent's Fang. Because the Lulu shielding, I think that's the big thing. It's just the Lulu shielding. That's the big thing. I feel like I played the laning phase really well, to be honest. I got kind of lucky that one time where Garen tried to flash on me and kill me, but other than that, to be honest, I didn't expect him to be there. But other than that, I think I played pretty well.
Hammer time.
And to be honest, I probably should have been dead there as well.
Fully charged.
Top turret is under attack.
Okay, no flash. He can't 1v1 me. He doesn't have Hullbreaker.
Slain.
Cannon engaged.
Shut down. Double kill.
Well played, team.
Face the future. Cannon engaged.
I can just get a tower here because Garen went to bot lane. Should be a free tower.
Rampage.
Nice. Caitlyn's also popping off. Maybe I'm not able to get the tower. I thought maybe I could have, but I didn't, unfortunately.
Bring down the hammer.
Top turret is under attack.
I can keep pressuring because Lee Sin's top lane. Oh my, Garen's just gonna clear the wave because it's a dumb champion.
Never look back.
Have to be careful. I don't know where they're... Yeah, they're here. They're here. I didn't know where their bot lane was, but they're here. It's fine. If I just push the wave, that means they can't do anything and we can get top lane tower.
Powering up.
Nice. This is a slow game. Not really the most craziest in terms of kills, but I think in terms of map rotations and also being able to get advantages on the map, we've actually done really well. I should probably go back for Manamune. I'm going to go for Serpent's Fang. Boom.
Our future will be bright.
Like I said, it's not the most crazy game. It's not like a crazy high kill game. But I'm playing pretty well. Stu top kind of pogging. Probably the only time you'll see Stu top pogging. Also, my team is kind of smurfing at the same time.
Cannon engaged.
Herald's up. Do we not want Herald here? Maybe Garen is hot. Oh no, Garen is here. Why are you here? That's fine. I mean, two people have to come to me.
Without fear.
Like, 2 people have to come to me. It's, you know, it's free pretty much. It's basically free. 3-second dragon of the game. Maybe look for something more.
Powering up.
Maybe bot tower.
Face the future. Eye on the horizon. Engaged.
Nice try, buddy. Nice try, buddy. Too fast for you, my friends. They ain't no ulti. I didn't mean to ping Lulu's ulti, but it's whatever. I'm just gonna go back. Need a little bit more gold for Serpent's Fang, but I think I'd rather not risk it. I think I would rather not risk it.
Cannon engaged. Without fear.
Mid lane? Okay, looks like my team's winning. Okay, nice. I think that's honestly just GG. Wow, what a game. Like I said, not the most mechanically crazy game, but laning phase was pretty good. We roamed pretty well. We pressured out the top lane, which is basically what we wanted to do. Really nice. Really, really nice. Really, really nice game. I don't think I did crazy damage or I did anything special this game. I mean, my team also smurfed. I still did quite a lot of damage though. 13,000. Oh my god, Garen did 5,000 damage. I mean, I still did quite a lot of damage. I didn't die a single time. Deathless game. Like I said, not like a crazy high kill game that you would think of like clickbait YouTube, but I still think it's a pretty good game. GG's, GG's.